case you missed it, I was on the telly again. Yes, for an episode of Her Majesty's BBC's Inside the Factory. I was the talking head for a segment on the vacuum cleaner whilst they toured the pneumatic factory in Somerset as the following, the inside the factory bit. And this is the machine that we used most, and what it needs is a flipping good clean because that rug was not well kept at all. So let's see what this vintage beauty picked up and get it cleaned up so I can put it back into storage. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? Yes, the old 875 did really well, bless her. It was quite out of the blue. We're talking November 2020 at this point. And yeah, I got an email from the production company saying, hey, would you like to feature on the episode and bring along some vacuums? So we did the business and off I drove to Telford to go to the Black Country Museum with a car full of vacuum cleaners. And you saw the coffee cans for the majority of the segment. There were some other ones off to the sides. And then Ruth went and filmed an intro with the 1346A. I didn't see, but I made sure it was set up quite nicely with that rug. When she came back in after we'd been using this a lot, she was very impressed. And yeah, you could tell the difference generationally, as I think we spoke about. Why did I pick the most ugliest, tattiest of my coffee cans for the main event? I mean, I'm presuming you've all seen it. I'm actually filming this before it's even been announced. They've only, as far as the current series is, filming this in 2021, it's, there's nothing there, so I'm presuming they're going to do it at some point. But obviously I want to get this cleaned up so I can store it. I don't like storing it like this. But this has been completely rewired with these coffee cans. I mean, it has a black moulded plug because it was the best flex I could find. Every single bit of wire in this machine up until the coil, where the coil wires are heat shrunk and then attached to the new wires. It's safe. None of the other ones have been rewired. And the last thing I wanted to do was for Mrs. Goodman to put her hand there, which is stop clanging, which is where all the wiring runs. Yeah, I've had these perish before. Yeah, you put your hand there, and so this got used. The rest look pretty, which is a shame because the 725 or whatever it is has the very nice Hoover logo on there, and we used this a lot. We obviously did many takes. I kept on getting my facts and figures wrong. As you know, I pretty much just say what I think and keep it clean, but we had to do take after take for me to remember the flipping name and location of some of the things. But it was alright, it wasn't too bad. So this got used a lot for B-roll, for A-roll, for retakes. More than that lovely little toy that I made, the proof of concept. And yeah, even because look, I wanted to go into a bit more detail. In fact, I offered to take one of the other ones apart so we could lift the motor off and say, look, here is your desk fan. Hello. What are you suddenly complaining for? This is your desk fan, there's your outlet, here's your pillowcase. I couldn't do a brush roll, they did ask, but blimey, if you look at the patent, there gears and cogs and all sorts of custom bespoke fabrication that I'm sure in 1899, 1900 you could walk up the road to your local blacksmith with a drawing on whatever the 1800s equivalent of on the back of a fag packet was, and he'd give it to you and it would have a tolerance of like half an inch and it would be absolutely fine. However, in 2021 if I had a 3D printer maybe, but we didn't. So the rug, we both agreed, in fact we all agreed, that it wasn't an old rug. It was from the early 90s. It was a nice rug. Yeah, we used this and the pile just reappeared. Look, here's all those cornflakes that we had to put down because again they were an American invention, and so much of that is still in the bag, which I think we have no choice. But I don't really want to do the pregnant cow. If you collect old vacuum cleaners and have bags like this, you know that you have to put your arm in it sometimes, and it's probably not as bad this time because that rug has just been used in a demo room. No one's normally allowed in there. I think they moved a few bits out of our way. Fun fact, the radio in the back corner of that room, if you've ever been to the Black Country Museum, it's actually a hollowed out shell with an MP3 player inside of it. Fun fact. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, you did do well, didn't you? Oh, God. Probably should have taken the bag flange off, but the problem with these original bags is at the bottom gets so perished that by the time you've got it sort of on, you do not want to touch it. It's why I don't use these that much. Wow, there we go. And to think how many times that rug's, I didn't see what their vacuum was. I probably imagine it was something straight suction. Sort of wish I got a more modern Junior on it. I mean, I had the 1980s one. That would have done it well. I think I had a turbo power with me. We didn't use them all, but obviously I was driving 130 miles. I wanted to get more than they might have needed. Oh, here we go. So this needs to be cleaned thoroughly, and there are two ways to do that. There's washing it, which I showed you before. This won't need that. This has been washed in my ownership. All this is going to need is a good old waft over with Sir Benchington, my bench vac. Crikey, we could have bought that, couldn't we? See what happened 100 odd years later. No. Right. Actually, Bench is quite handy because he's either full or his bags come off and he's not fab in the suction department, which is what you want on old stuff like this. We're not aiming for 100% perfection, just 98.32%. See if we can achieve that. And what you get after not a particularly long time is, look, a bag which is just as clean as it needs to be. Certainly I'd be more happier having that sat in, I put these in vacuum bags, I've got all four of them together. I'd rather be sat like this than that. So I'm going to finish off and tidy up and we'll come back when I'm done. And in not a terribly large amount of time later, look, you've cleaned it so well, look, that it's gone grey. No. What I've done is fitted the bag that I keep around for all of my oldies. It's a genuine but replacement Hoover bag because, bless them, I'll put you out of the way, the handle's not fully secure so I can't lift it, because these bags are getting on. Some of them are literally over a century old and they are not getting any younger. They should be used for show only. If you ever buy an old coffee can, the first thing that I implore you to do is please wash the bag. Even if you dared and take this off, just a really good soak to get all of the ingrained dirt that, this was not too bad, look, but yeah, it literally rots the edge of the bag. Yeah, Phoenix, you gonna come say hello? Step up. Look, this is a Hoover bag, though. No, you're gone. Yeah, this is a Hoover bag as well. I don't even need to moan about the Hoover police having a go. So yes, display only, but of course, TV appearance is definitely a massive exception to that rule, and that bag's fine to go into storage now like that. You can see it's even more rotten at the top, look. Doesn't help that this flipping bag holder is awful, bends and out of shape, and Horrible. Also some bird poo on here, Phoenix. Phoenix. Get that off. And with my nice, genuine but non-original Hoover bag, we can give it one last use. Not doing too bad. That's something that annoyed me actually on the show. I hadn't even checked the wheels before we started pushing it around, and yeah, they were very squeaky. We did have a good laugh about it, so I'll put a little bit in each of the wheels. Don't need a lot at all. We'll see if that makes a difference, but equally, it's getting on 100 years old, it's allowed to squeak. I squeak and I'm not even half that age. There we go then. By leaving wheel marks all over my deep plush wool rug, it's actually doing very well. For those of you who watched this rug video when it first came out, and the amount that the DC-17 dragged out, well, it's about a couple of weeks later now. And has that actually got anything out? No, not really. Oh, full of bits, but they might have been from, you know, the machine and blown through the motor. So that is excellent. It means that this rug is probably clean, and equally this Hoover is probably the worst thing in the world to clean this rug with, because yeah, it wouldn't have been designed for it at all. So, a bit gloomy now because I turned my lights around so that we could be illuminated by there's not even any vibrating action, basically. This is just too heavy for this to pick up and beat as it sweeps, as it cleans and plays the piano badly. So, there we go. Thank you very much to the television production company person for getting in touch. Cheers, Ollie. Happily do it again. Let's turn A lights on. Can't edit too much. Hello, Poppet. You say hello? I hadn't had him very long. It was the first time I'd left him alone, was to go out to that. Isn't it? You're there, your first alone time. Bye. Off he goes. Yeah, thank you very much for letting me do that. Far more exciting than the game show. Actual history, facts. Ruth Goodman is an absolute legend. She went and hunted a kettle out and made tea for everybody. And yeah, we got to look around the Black Country Museum. It was closed, so I got to drive through it. Yeah, got to drive through it and park right outside, and thoroughly once in a lifetime experience. And the Hoover that we used to clean up is now ready to go back into storage. Quite honestly, I don't use them very much. One point, I need to finish this off. All this needs is a repaint, but the handle grip isn't removable. Well, it is, but it's glued on. It's not removable now, so I've got to mask it all up. This is its actual colour. It was always a special cheapo made for 6 months until something else was ready, so it just needs to be sprayed black. Maybe one day I'll do it, maybe I won't. It's got a sort of usable charm to it as it is. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please comment down below, did you see inside the factory? It'll be on iPlayer and stuff, and I'll try and put this out after the episode has gone out. If I don't air it, you may never see this video. I could have filmed the whole thing in my pants, but I didn't, which is probably a good thing all round. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and probably at some point this vintage lovely Hoover will see you soon. Bye bye.